다른 게임은 못 들고 있다. 그리고 다른 게임은 시작하면 새 게임 뭐 그러고 막 쭈르륵 뜨잖아. 이 게임은 그냥 바로 시작해.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you.
잠깐 자막.
I'm sorry about that. I'm just gonna start at the beginning, with the house.
처음부터 시작하지. 집부터. 잠깐만. 그 자막이
I lived here until I was 11,
자막
but I
있네.
wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
11살까지 살았지만 절반 이상의 방을 들어가지 못했다. 자취자만이었어.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately. I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral. In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or
오,
she thought the
괜찮은데?
mystery would be enough
자막
to bring me
그치?
back.
오, 자막 크고 흩날리는 것 봐. 위로 가야 되나 아래로 가야 되나?
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to. The woods around the house have always been uncomfortably silent, as if they're about to say something but never do.
오, 이거 이거 뭐냐? 저 자막 센스 괜찮다, 그치? 나쁘지 않은데? 자막 센스가 괜찮아. 너무 꼴대 있네.
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
집 좋은데?
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words.
그치, 집 좋은데? 집 관리하기 까다로운 거 빼면은 좋을 듯.
I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
집이 두려운 것이었다.
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't. Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
개구멍 뭐야?
Crawling
썰막해.
through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11. The power had been turned off the night we left. For the first time in years, I felt like I was home. But instead of a family, there were just memories of one. Like how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot. Or how after Louis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
연어 쌓인 것 봐.
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
오, 야, 방 디자인 멋지다, 그치?
Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
오, 야, 자막 센스 뭐야? 이 구멍에 뭐 있을 것 같냐? 아닌가?
The table was still a wreck from the night we left.
우리 집에 벽난로가 있겠냐고. 한국식 그 주택의 벽난로 그거 진짜 귀한 거예요. 난 진짜 살면서 벽난로 자체를 그 일반 가정집에서 본 적이 진짜 없어.
It was like a bomb had gone off. My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
한국식 그 주택의 일반 가정의 벽난로 다른 그 외국은 흔할 것 같긴 한데 한국은 주택이 그런 구조다. 돈이 많을 것 같아요. 돈이. 아무리 돈이 많아도 굳이 그런 구조로 만들진 않을 것 같기도.
My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
여기 왜 밀봉돼 있대? 그치?
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
아, 부모님이 밀봉한 거야? 모든 문을?
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up. Louis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him. Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets.
뭐야?
Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
야, 난 책일 줄 알았더니 비밀문이었네? 나도 집에
From the
이런 거
paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
나도 집에 이런 거 구조 있으면 재밌겠다.
Reading this,
그치?
maybe it sounds like I had a plan.
고양이 귀엽다.
But I had no idea what was behind that door. just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead. I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage. Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
저빌 먹이는.
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
물고기 잡아먹는 거야, 설마?
I kept eating and eating.
씨앗 먹어? 나는 먹고 또 먹었다. 그날.
I ate a lot of things that night. Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly,
뭐야?
I was
뭐야?
a cat.
뭐야? 캣이 됐는데 캣이.
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared. Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
엄마 아빠가 뭔가 좀 많이 늙어 보이는데, 그치?
I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard
뱀이가
little
된다는데?
teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits. I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
아 이거 아까 주인공이 나레이션으로 가족 하나가 사라졌다 했잖아. 이렇게 고양이가 됐다. 그 뭐냐 올빼미가 됐다 해가지고
She was almost
사라진 거
too
아니야?
big to
그치?
carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
샤크톤 뭐야? 야, 힐링 게임 맞아? 힐링 게임 맞죠?
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever. I wanted fat, juicy seals. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good. Grabbed on tight. Oh, but I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
뭐야 이거 뱀이야?
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, but I moved real quiet.
설마 이게 사람을 잡아먹었다는 거야? 그치.
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
오.
Belly with a rusty, his belly with a rusty, his belly with
음악 좋은데 선장?
After the last passenger, I was still hungry. Across the water, I spotted the unicorn, something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe. I got closer and closer.
여기 집 아니야? 그치. 설마 얘네 부모님을 잡아먹었다라는 건 아니겠지?
All my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to be, and we both know I will be delicious.
나는 맛있을 거니까.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that. but I'm sure Edie would have. I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here before my mom sealed the doors.
피야 설마? 손이 4개인데? 아니구나 5개구나. 피인가 근데 그치?
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room. Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him. Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune
우리 집
and
앞에 있는
misfortune.
저수지는 작아. 생각보다 작아.
Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house. Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
자동 저장.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't. Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
그러니까 오른쪽에 아니 왼쪽에 금발이 에디야? 그리고 가운데가 자신의 어머니인 90세고 아닌가?
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace. There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
뭐야?
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
기생충에 나온 집보다 비밀이 많다고? 인정. 매일 몰래 집주인 자고 있을 때 냉장고에서 음식 빼먹어도 모를 것 같은데? 그치? 오야, 방 멋지다. 그치? 둘의 취향이 확고히 나뉘는 건가? 이 마룻바닥도 이렇게 반으로 갈린 것 봐.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin, and that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
바꾸지 않았다?
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that,
아, 설마 여기서
I'm not gonna tell you again!
여기서
maybe
사고
Calvin
당하나?
hadn't picked up.
그치.
Then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it.
그치.
I think he'd already made up his mind.
나도 어릴 때 그네
That's
하드코어하게
what I
타는
wanna
사람들
remember about
좀
my
있었거든? 어릴 때 학교에서. 너무 하드코어하게 타다가 나뭇가지 부러지고
Learning to fly, and he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
그네나 시소 예전에 하드코어하게 타는
After the
사람들
funeral,
보면은
Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
강렬한 그 뭐라고 해야 되나 스릴 즐기기 위해서
Mom
별의별
said
짓을
Grandpa
다 하는
Sam
놈들이
enlisted at
있었지.
18 and never set foot in the room again.
이게 뭐야? 야, 무슨 방이 이래? 와, 야, 내 방도 이런 개재밌겠다. 그치?
The passages were a pretty tight fit.
부모님한테 혼낼 것 같으면
They'd
바로
obviously
비밀 통로
built for
열고
smaller hands and bellies.
러니야 하면 너 일로 안 와! 너 오늘 저녁밥 없을 줄 알아! 그랬을 것 같은데 그치?
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
빅풋?
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards. Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
미국의 가장 불운한
Oh,
가족으로부터
Jack,
영감을
with
받은 무시무시한
another
이야기.
ghastly tale. inspired by America's most unfortunate family.
바바라 핀치의 놀라운 결말.
The surprise ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream.
비명소리로 유명했다.
Now at 16, she was all washed up.
인기가 떨어졌다. 전성기가
But in a
지나고
lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
비명소리 섹스했다.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box.
오, 연출 괜찮다. 그치?
She listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
오, 연출 괜찮은데? 오, 내가 움직이는 거구나, 이것도.
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear! Rick?
뭐야?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the Late Late Picture Show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
장난이면 죽인다, 월터. 근데 그 바바라라는 이 캐릭터가 아역 배우인데 예전에 잘 나가다가 지금은 퇴물이 됐다 뭐 그런 설정인 것 같은데 상실감이 좀 크긴 할 듯, 그치? 더 이상 나는 어디에도 써주지 않는 건가? 뭐 그런 느낌. 스트레스 많이 받겠다, 그치? 예, 압니다. 누가 몰라요.
Walter, are you there? Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And he was. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully. She thought about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it. Ollie's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges grow.
오,
Wasn't
연출 괜찮다, 그치?
but she sensed
몰입감도
the
괜찮고.
story might not be over yet.
이게 17년도 게임이라고? 괜찮은데?
The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was... At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard. But that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
정말 무시무시한 이야기. 오, 마지막 언어 유희. 오, 이거 괜찮은데? 그러니까 이게 바바라라는 캐릭터는
As absurd as that comic
실종된
was.
거다? 그치?
Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
녹화하고 있냐고요? 예. 예. 예전에 했던 그 탐정 게임? 울프 어몽어스? 그치? 그 느낌이랑 비슷한데? 비슷하지만 좀 다른.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
사라진 가족이 떠올라서 오르골 틀지 말라 했던 건가? 그치? 그럼 이 집은 저주받은 건가?
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara. Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left. Edie's father, Odin, built the original house. It's funny. All those times I played with the music box and never found the basement key.
오르골 찾아야 되나? 그치? 잠깐 아까 그 이야기 내용에 다 단서가 있었던 것 같은데, 그치? 오르골 어디 있어? 오르골 어디 있는 거야? 이게 아니고.
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
여기 있구나. 에이, 뭘 유튜브야. 오, 뭔가 좀 기발하다, 열쇠가. 그치? 난 집에 다락방이나 지하가 있으면 무서울 것 같아, 왠지. 외국은 근데
Mom said
다락방이나
the
지하가
basement
많을
was
거
off
아니야.
limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
화상품 조사. 나도 중딩 때 한 방 맞았는데.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
뭐야, 여기에도 비밀문이 있어?
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane.
생각보다 이 캔딱에 힘 많이 든다. 힘 많이 필요함.
Having a schedule, living for today.
황도, 내가 좋아하는.
I always expected to be dead tomorrow.
잠깐 여기 이 지하 벙커에다 10년을 버틴 거야?
Used to anything.
그치.
Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years.
잠깐.
I'm done waiting.
여기 있던
I have to
피규어.
leave. Well, I still can.
이 피규어 아까 처음에 찡그리는 표정이었나? 왜 지금은 찡그리는 표정이지? 기분 탓인가? 떠날 수 있을 때 떠나야 한다. 개인이 이런 지하 벙커를 만들 수가 있을까? 이거 존나 신기하네.
I know it's out there, somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara
바바라를 죽인
and
그거
Molly
그리고 몰리
and Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me.
오 이거 자막 센스 진짜 괜찮은데? 그치?
Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left. Or a month. Or a single week.
단 하루라도 진짜 자유를 맛보고 싶어 하는 것 같은데, 그치?
I can already imagine the sun in my face.
아, 이렇게 기차에 치여 죽은 거야?
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
지금 피규어랑 아까 그 피규어랑 얼굴 표정이 좀 다른 것 같긴 한데, 그치? 아닌가?
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me. Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made, trying to bury something that's still alive.
이런 집에서 살았으면 매일
Now that there's
친구
only
불러서
one of us
놀았을 듯.
left, or
재밌긴 하겠다,
two.
그럼, 그치? 어쩌면 2명 남았으니까.
I
이제
thought it was time I heard the stories for myself
모든 가족이
and found out what happened to
건가?
everyone else.
한 명 빼고, 그치?
But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
월드. 잠깐만. 이 길로 원래 쭉 아까 그 회상했을 때 길이었잖아, 그치? 섬이 돼버렸네?
I don't know if I should even be writing this. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth. And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible. I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house? It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault. Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery. I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night. Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better.
이 집안에 무슨 저주 같은
She
게 내린
lost 2
건가?
of her brothers,
그치?
just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. We never found Milton's body, so my mom insisted we were putting up a monument, not a tombstone. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
뭐야? 주인공이 임신한 상태였어? 아, 그래서 뛸 수가 없었던 건가? 그러면 인정.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
What? Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? Please just take the damn picture.
Hey, language.
I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
Hold still.
Hey!
That's a keeper.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Dawn, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph? Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip. Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire.
딜링 게임인 것 같기도 하지만 추리 게임인 것 같기도.
Good eyes, Dawn.
못 찍어야 돼.
Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad,
I...
Just breathe. Turn off your imagination. Focus on your target. Let me get behind you.
do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Dawn! I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay?
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
뭐야? 보는 내가 깜짝 놀랐네. 오씨. 아, 이렇게 죽은 거야, 이 사람은?
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me. Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something. Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
진짜 잘 놀래네? 거기서 당연히 떨어져 죽을지 누가 알았겠어. 어? 알았으면 안 놀랬지.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
무섭게 생겼냐? 잠깐, 이 어린애도 죽은 거야?
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
우리가 보지 못한 걸 아기가 본 것 같다? 혹시 설마 여기서 질식사하나? 익사? 그치?
That's hangover, Gregory. It's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw.
저 방울을 맞추는 것 같긴 한데.
He reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination. Whatever it was, he saw it.
아이들의 상상력은 무한하다, 뭐 그런 걸 보여주는 건가? 호두까기 인형 음악 아닌가? 그치? 뭔가를 하는 것 같은데. 아, 알겠다. 이 아기는 욕조에서 익사당하는 게 맞나봐. 그치?
It sure made him happy.
아닌가? 고래가 있었구나.
I know how silly it sounds.
설마 여기에 뚜껑이 열려가지고 거품이
But I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw.
그 연출 되게 좋다. 그치?
There's so much I don't understand.
난 이해하지 못하는 것이 너무
About
많아.
Gregory. About everything.
이게 뭔가 좀 순화해서 얘기하면은 아기는
But I know what
동물
happened
친구들이랑
wasn't
재밌게 수영했다 이거고 현실은 육사야? 그치?
I'm sure he's happy. He'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
그레고리는 너도 행복하길 바랄 거야.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet.
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard.
오. 야, 자막 센스 뭐야? 그치? 설마 이 아이는 그 바람에 의해 연이랑 같이 날아가서
Where
죽나?
Gus stood far apart,
그치?
just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her,
적복에 그럴 것
"We don't need a
같은데?
stepmom," were the words that I
now
remember.
pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
근데 아이들이 어른들이랑 주변에 있으면은 안전할 줄 알고 소리 소문도 없이 사고 당하는 경우가 통계적으로 많대요. 진짜로. 어른들은 안심하는 거지. 아이가 다칠 리가 없겠구나 하고. 만약 큰일이 나도 이렇게 많은 사람이 있는데 어찌 그걸 못 알아차리겠냐, 뭐 그런 마인드로. 생각보다 소리 소문 없이 사고를 나.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger.
하지만 거스는 거부하고 가운데 손가락을 들어올린다. 나쁜 놈. 아빠 말 좀 듣지, 그치?
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
하지만 그날 모든 사람들이 한 것은 고작 텐트 안으로 들어가는 것이었다.
The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made.
오, 야 연출이 17년도 게임 맞아?
Thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the
전동 소리가
music
너무
louder."
가깝게 들렸고 분노의 힘이 느껴졌다. 음악을 더 크게 틀어라고만 했다. 나는 그랬다. 야, 이게 17년도 게임이라고, 그치?
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
아, 이렇게 사고를 당한 거야, 얘는?
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
아기들은 잠깐만 한숨 팔면 사고남? 그러니까 말이야. 연줄은 아까 그게 최대였음.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died.
At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
야, 나 옛날에 쓰던 컴퓨터가 이런 컴퓨터였을 거야. 어? 아주 오래전에 썼을 거. 이거랑 비슷한 컴퓨터였을 걸. 이것보다 조금 더 좋은 컴퓨터. 옛날 컴퓨터는 전원 누르고 켜지거든. 근데 여기서 실행 버튼이라고 이제 그 타자를 또 쳤어야 됐어요. 네, 저번에 말했는데 옛날 컴퓨터는, 지금 컴퓨터는 그 컴퓨터 그 전원만 켜고 하면은 바로 켜지잖아. 옛날에는 그렇지가 않았어. 그 실행을 영어인가로 어떻게 쳤어야 됐거든. 옛날 생각나네.
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about.
윈도우
but I think it
XP도 안
helped her
써본
a lot after
애송이가
her
뭘
dad
알겠어? 윈도우 98도 썼어요, 저는. 윈도우 98, 그 다음 XP.
She spent a summer building houses
윈도우
in
XP가 근데
Calcutta, where she met my
스타1은
dad,
잘 돌아갔는데.
Sanjay.
진짜 잘 돌아갔음. 윈도우 7인가 8부터는 스타1 좀 깨지더라. XP가 진짜 잘 돌아갔음. 아, 여기구나.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Louis was born a year later. When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that.
근데 집에 이런 뷰 있으면은 담요 하나 갖고 와서 낮잠 자고 그 바닷 공기 쐬면서 그렇지. 나쁘지 않을 듯.
And for a while, things were good. Almost normal. But it didn't last. The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
성을 준 것으로 종말이 시작되었다? 왜? 그럼 여기서 떨어졌나? 아니겠지? 피가 아니었네. 페인트였네. 와, 어린 시절 이런 비밀 의지 하나 있으면 딱이겠다, 그치? 마법의 붓, 밀턴 핀치와 마법의 붓.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
어디로든 문?
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
이 밀턴이라는 애도 실종이야?
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
이 문을 열고 사라진 거야? 그치? 여기서 보면 근데
Whatever Milton had found in
부모님들은
the house,
억장
Mom didn't
무너지겠다,
want it
그치?
getting out.
부모님 마음은 억장이 무너지겠어.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room until Mom got him a job at the cannery. Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That
마리화나?
part of him lived on.
물담배 마리화나? 얘 뭐야?
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life.
아, 설마 실수로 로이스는 손이 잘린 건가? 그치?
In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped to find himself.
루이스가 살짝 넋이 나갔다는 걸 지금 나타내고 있는데 우리도 넋 나가고 지금 왼쪽을 보고 있잖아. 근데 왜 뭔가 연출 잘 돼 있다 생각하면 연출 괜찮아.
But he found something more. I worried about him then, daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss, but he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination, so he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor, and he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on. In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for sinister serpents. He followed the sound of her silver harp. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
완전 꼭 학교에서 수업은 안 듣고 그 롤 상상하던 나보는 거
Someone
같냐?
who'd never known success in the real world.
멍
I think it was
때리면서
overwhelming.
정글 돌고 있는 나보는 거 같아요.
And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him. He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Louis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him. even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who had insisted on advising him. His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head.
뭐야? 단두대 아니야 이거? 아 결국 루이스는 자살했다라고 보면 되는 건가?
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
이제 마지막 한 사람 남은 건가? 그치? 이쪽 집안은 저주받았나? 그치? 그나마 루이스가 그나마 이제 가장 오래 살아남은 가족 중 하나인 것 같긴 하지만 죽은 건가 결국? 그치?
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
에디 깃털펜?
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning, okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years.
1000년 만에 찾아온
God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. For a while, I wandered. I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the band came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. The rest
오, 연출 진짜 개 좋은데? 그치?
She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. and appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way.
아, 이거 주인공 뱃속에 있는 아이의 지금 시점인가 본데? 아닌가? 뱃속 아니야, 여기?
This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
그렇지, 맞는 거, 아, 맞네. 남자아이니까. 정확한 스토리는 뭐라고 말은 못하겠는데 뭐 괜찮은데요? 게임은? 그치? (1948년에서 2013년) 설마 이거 실화를 바탕으로 해서 만들었다는 건 아니지? 그치? 모든 이야기를 끝낸다. 모든 것의 끝, 도전과제 다 했어. 설마? 진짜로 이거 실화를 바탕으로 해서 게임으로 만든 거 아니지? 그치? 당연히 픽션이야? 다행이네요. 아니, 한 가족이 그런 사고사로 몰살당했다는 게 하긴 픽션이에요? 픽션이겠지. 고마워요 요한. 크레딧에서 요한의 이름을 본다? 요한이 누구길래, 그치? 샷건 뭐야? 재밌었습니다. 괜찮은데 게임? 그치? 17년에 젤다 야숨이 고티 독식할 뻔했는데 영국 아카데미가 이 게임한테 고티 줘서 막았대. 이 게임이 고티 먹은 거야? 젤다가 허리 꺾어내고? 아 진짜로? 오, 킹 갓게임이었나 보네. 그치? 재밌었습니다. 괜찮은데? 재밌었습니다.